नमस्कार दोस्तों और जय हिंद। आप सभी को स्वागत है इन माय चैनल 1971 वॉर बुक सीरीज। तो दोस्तों आज हम बात करेंगे विद लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल विष्णु चतुर्वेदी who as a second lieutenant had taken part in the Bangladesh Liberation War as an artillery OP officer. I hope you know what is an artillery OP officer. These are the people who are attached to the infantry units, kabhi-kabar with companies or the entire battalion group when the battle is going on. This person calls for artillery strikes and corrects the fire of the artillery that is supporting this assault. तो पाकिस्तानी फौज के साथ जब जंग शुरू हो गया था in 1971, at that time in the Sylhet sector, the 4th battalion of the 5th Gurkha Rifles Regiment Frontier Force was tasked to take part in the battles against the enemy in the Sylhet sector. At that time, 2nd Lieutenant Vishnu Chaturvedi, attached as an OP officer, was serving with the 4th battalion of the 5th Gurkha Rifles, and he called in for artillery support for this battalion every time the 4th battalion of the 5th Gurkha Rifles Regiment took part in the actions, specifically at Adgram, Ghazipur, uske baad taking part in the last battle of Sylhet. He had a marvelous career in the Indian Armed Forces and was also given recognition by the Bangladesh government for his services in the 71 war. So let's welcome Lieutenant General Vishnu Chaturvedi to talk directly about his experiences.
I belong to Uttar Pradesh, and our ancestral village, if you can call it, is very close to a place called Firozabad, very near Agra.
Okay.
And we are Mathur Chaturvedis. Origin is from Mathura, and in somewhere in around 1930s, my grandfather shifted to Fatehgarh. It's a cantonment where two regiments center are there presently. That time only Rajput Regiment Center was there. Now it is Rajput and Sekhalai. And my father was in the railways. He was initially in the BB&CI railway, then joined the Northeastern Railway. Mm-hmm. I was born at a small place, Hathras, which is close to Agra. Where my father was then posted in 1951. Did my initial schooling, I'll say, in railways school in Kasganj, and then also in Fatehgarh. My father used to get posted very fast because railways do have, and the moment you get promoted, you are posted out. So when he became the AEN, that is the assistant engineer in the Northeastern Railway, he was posted to Sonpur, and I shifted to Fatehgarh, where my Chachi ji looked after us. I was in the railways school initially, then in a municipal inter college, and then after 6th I joined Sainik School Lucknow, which was the first Sainik school of the country, established by Sampurnanandji, who was then the Chief Minister of UP in 1960. And I joined in 1962. The Sainik School, did my schooling in Sainik School for 5 years, then joined the National Defence Academy in 67, and then got commissioned from Indian Military Academy in June 1971. And thereafter, of course, we went for our army life, our young officers course, and then the 71 war, and all this started.
Right. I would like to know how you joined the armed forces.
Dave, it's a very interesting story. We were only two brothers, and I was the younger one. A little more love towards me by my mother. Mm-hmm. I would have never joined the forces if my mother had her way. At that point of time with my Chachi ji, and she was a very, I'll say that one of the lady one needs to emulate. She used to teach us. We were in a Hindi medium school. She used to teach us English. She herself had done 10th class in those days in 1940s when
1940s,
religion
right?
for so she was pretty good at general knowledge. He saw one day an advertisement in the newspaper for Senate school,
Acha, acha.
and he filled my form for that school.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 61 towards the end, I think.
Okay.
And then after a few days, my call of letter for written examination came, and that is also, she took me, I was hardly 10 years old that time, 10,
10
11.
years old.
Yeah. She took
Okay.
me to Kanpur to Lucknow. I appeared there without anybody knowing it, but that's how it was. And somehow, luckily, I got through the written examination, and then my call of letter for interview came, and that is the time when my elder brother, she asked him to take me to Lucknow. We appeared in the interview, and thereafter, once I was selected, they called me for medical, which
Mm-hmm.
again my elder brother, uh, who of course is also today no more, but he was the one who took me. Interestingly, for 5 days we stayed at the railway platform in the
Acha, acha.
in the waiting room. We used to spend the evenings there, and daytime we used to go for the medical.
Mm-hmm.
All
At that
went
time,
well.
sir, yeah, I mean, people had to avail these
And
problems.
yes, yes, these were
Yeah.
the things, and that's how I got into the Senate school. And once we were in Senate school, I think that is the time when 62 war took place. Thereafter, 65 war took place.
Mm-hmm.
So these the stories of bravery, courage, the valor of our people definitely motivated us, and that's how I decided I will compete and try for the National Defence Academy, and one got through. God's blessing and the friends and relatives' good wishes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I joined the NDA, and then the rest is well known. I got into the armed forces, but it is entirely my Chachiji's initiative, and then 62 war and 65, which truly motivated each and every one of us. In fact, there was the time when we were not very modernized, we were not very well equipped, we were not very well clothed. Also,
Mm-hmm.
we were a poor country, not
Mm-hmm.
like today. We are competing with the best in the world. That time, all that thing, and yet the passion in each Indian was,
Very high.
I'd say very, very high.
So, sir, 2 years in the NDA and I think another year in the IMA, right, sir?
3 years in the National Defence Academy and 1 year in IM. Total 4 years training.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were commissioned as a second lieutenant in, at that time it was second lieutenant, I
Yeah, yeah,
guess.
it was second lieutenant. You are absolutely correct. 13 June 1971. That is.
13 June 1971, just a few months before the war.
Yes, yes, just a few months before the war.
And in which unit, sir?
That time, in our case, we were not given the units at IMA.
Okay.
We were sent for we were only given that you are going to artillery, infantry, and all, and we were sent for our young officers course to School of Artillery Devlali, and the units were allotted once we
Mm-hmm.
were midway almost in the course.
Okay.
So that's how it happened. I was commissioned into artillery, and we were sent to School of Artillery Devlali for our young officers course. It is normally 6 months course where we are taught how to handle guns, how to load them, how to prepare ammunition, how to accurately record, and they fire in sympathy all the 6 guns. All these things, ballistics was taught to us. All these things, it's a totally a different specialized job, and therefore it needs about 6 months time. So is the in case of armored corps, it takes about 6 months. infantry and others, because they do platoon weapons and commandos and all, it is a little less. But that's normally duration for the young officers course is around the same.
Okay. Now I
And
had another question, sir. At that time, the equipment was different, and probably from also some equipment were from World War II era. So could you name a few of the artillery equipment that you were using in the training, of course?
training was basically this 25 pounders, which
Okay.
was British time. You are absolutely
Mm-hmm.
correct. We were also given about 5.5 inch, which was again the British time, Second World War.
Mm-hmm.
That is a medium gun, little longer range, heavier shell. But our gun drill and everything was on 25 pounder. We did most of the course shootings and firing practices on 25 pounder. Uh,
Okay.
a little bit of specialization was done. That time 130 millimeter guns had come. So
Mm-hmm.
we did in the last about 7 8 days we were told about 130 millimeter guns. Uh, BM-21 had just entered, but that was a secret equipment that time. We were not given much thing, but we were told about it. The Grad BM, the single barrel, had also come. So that was also told to us. Indian mountain gun 7524 had been inducted by then,
Mm-hmm.
and that was also because when you know we went to the unit just about around I'll say first week of October, 1st October or 2nd October, we were told that you have to report and your VIOS course is being cut short. That time my unit had been announced and I was to go to 99, that time Mountain Regiment.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a 75-24 millimeter gun. So that was told to us about a week of uh, uh, specialization leg was conducted for us. So we were also told about 75-24 millimeter gun.
Okay.
Motors were also there. 120 millimeter motor
Mm-hmm.
was also the brand, the old
Brand motor.
again, again the First World War, very old.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 120 millimeter, but slowly and slowly they are phasing out now.
Okay. So now, sir, coming to uh, the war itself, the initial part. Small hit and run raids were happening, which were conducted alongside the Mukti Bahini and also by the Indian Armed Forces on the Pakistanis in East Pakistan. So, how did you come into the action? And as far as I know, sir, you were attached to the 4-5 Gurkha Rifles. So
Yes.
they were there, I think, in since October, I would say, in these operations. So how was your movement from, I mean, to the frontline area and how joining them?
It's a very interesting story, Dev. When we were told that we have to, our course is cut short and 16th October the course was over,
Okay.
we were also given 14 days leave
Acha, acha,
just
acha.
to ensure that there is no panic amongst anybody. We go and meet our parents and
Mm-hmm.
uh, so we went home
Mm-hmm.
and then we were told I have to report to Guwahati on 1st of November
Okay.
1971 to the MCO. We were not given the destination. We were not told where is our unit, and we reported to the MCO at Guwahati, and
By
he,
then, sir, you knew which unit you were
yeah,
aligned
yeah,
with.
I knew 99 Mountain Regiment is my unit. That was
Okay.
told to us,
Acha, acha.
and at Guwahati, the MCO thereafter directed us.
Mm-hmm.
He, in this, those days, अभी भी चलती है that road to Badarpur, Karimganj, Silchar. There is a train from Guwahati. So we boarded that and reported to the. It's very interesting. At Badarpur, I devoted and reported to my commanding officer because commanding officer was with the brigade commander,
Acha,
59
acha.
Brigade, Brigadier Quinn,
Mm-hmm.
and he was camping in that camp, and my unit was a little away from there. Since it had become dark by then, by the time I reached, so my commanding officer, Colonel Ravi Bhushan Bhatia, he's with the God's grace is still alive today. He's 92 years, and so he He took me to his tent and got a camp cot put for me. I slept in that tent along with the commanding officer. It's a very rare experience. The junior most second lieutenant and the commanding officer. In the,
Right.
but those were the days of the war. So things were, and he looked after me like a son. And next day morning, he sent me to the unit. I reported in the unit, and the commanding officer felt that war clouds are already there, and he said he thought that I have too little service in the unit. I don't know the men. I don't know. So he says it will be better. Normally, young officers are sent to the gun end. They are the gun position officer. In my case, he decided to put me at the forward observation officer as the OP observation post officer that we call in artillery.
Okay.
So I was sent to Papa Battery late. And KD Segan was my battery commander. Very nice gentleman. He took me because we were mostly involved in orientation, reconnaissance all along the border.
And these were all 25 pounders, sir.
We had 75-24 millimeter gun,
75,
mountain gun.
24. Mountain gun. Okay.
It is so we were doing basically reconnaissance, orientation, roaming around all along the border. And then it is around 16th of November, if I remember correctly, the chief, that General Simon Iksha, came and he addressed us in one of the jungles. I don't remember the exact name of the place, but it was in a jungle area where all of us there as a second lieutenant to see the chief, and that too charismatic Sam Bahadur. He addressed us, he motivated us a lot, and day after we broke off. Then on 19th, I was asked to join up with the 4th Battalion, the 5th Gurkha Rifles Frontier Forces. I reported there along with my battery commanders, and then we attended their orders and all. By then, it was clear that we are going in for. Basically, these were the preliminary ops, 20th November, that were launched, because these Atgram and Zakigan, these were the two posts from where the Pakistanis used to cause a lot of damage in our area. Sometimes the IED blast, sometimes they'll blow up the railway line. Sometimes, yes, those things they were doing. Mukti Bahini used to normally go and tackle them, but they were not. With all due respect, they were very passionate. Those things were there. But for military tasks of very high importance, they were not good enough. And that's why they decided to, on 20th November night, it was a no moon that day, to clear both these objectives, Atgram and Zakigan, so that the area remains safe thereafter. It was a salient into India.
Sir, before we go into the battles of Atgram and Zakiganj, I would like to know about the task, specific task of the OP, forward OP officer attached to the infantry units, sir. So, what was your job that you were required to do, sir?
Forward observation officer is primarily required to direct the artillery fire as required by the infantry. So we provide them the firepower, but it needs direction. The artillery, as you are aware, it's an area weapon. It's not pinpoint. So it can land anywhere 1,000 meters left, right. So you need to correct the fire. Once it is on target, the ranging is done. Thereafter, you go for fire perfect. So that is the primary task of a OP officer, to direct your own fire onto the enemy. Thereafter, advise the infantry commander on the best utilization of artillery. Sometimes we also go for direct firing. One odd gun can come and destroy the enemy post, enemy bunker, those type of things. So these are the basic important operational tasks, other than our fire plans and all that he makes. To at what when you go in for attack, it's total hour is the time when you cross the FUP, and that is SL, start line is of the FPP. When you cross that, there is HR, and with a relation to HR, how movement of the infantry and guns fire coming directly onto the places. Which objective needs to be neutralized. You record them before. You have a datum which is to cater for the Met just before you fire and work out the datum corrections. And that's how all these are the duties. And it's a very small party, just about two operators, one technical assistant, and self. Driver is left behind. So basically, communication is through the operators. Technical assistance is by the TA who draws all the Oscar tangos and grid reference of the places where you are firing. He checks. Basically, you are doing it. He is also doing it. There should not be any incorrect place that you fire. So it's a wastage of ammunition. All these are the facts. I was on 20th November. I was detailed as a anchor OP. Anchor OP is the one which basically is on a very dominating ground, close. He ensures that there is communication throughout with the battery commanders and other OP officers and the gun end. Because that those days we had the VHF set, NPRC 25. They needed the line of sight. And therefore, once you are on a dominating height, the line of sight will always be clear.
And I think,
The
sir,
trees and
ANPRC 25 was specifically meant
yeah,
for
yes.
mountain
In,
areas.
no, it was all even in the plains those days. It's a VHF set, line of sight. It was being used by all across infantry, armored, because you need to have interoperability. So everybody was using it. We were deployed at Ratachara, very dominating height in Meghalaya. I could see about 35-40 kilometers into then Pakistan, East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. And one was able to communicate throughout. That was my task. It was just, I occupied that in sometimes in the afternoon of 20th November. And by late evening, around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I saw our GOC, Lieutenant General, that time Major General KV Krishna Rao, who later became the chief, you'll recall. Yeah, so he also walked in, and for me it was an out of the world experience. He sat just next to me on a camp stool. Camp stool is the one you just, for a senior officer, it's made of basically tarpaulin cloth. And you sit there, and I was sitting on the ground with all my equipment and communication operator. And he treated me like his son and kept guiding me throughout. He was using my, it was a tactical headquarters which had moved in with very small component with him, his ADC and one or two G staff officers. He was utilizing my radio sets throughout the night for giving his orders, monitoring how the battle is progressing. In the night, when after the last light, around 9 o'clock or so, the two battalions, both 4-5 Gurkha Rifles and 9 Guard, they crossed. For 4-5 Gurkha Rifles, the objective was Adgram. 9 Guard, the objective was Zakiganj. And they had to cross Kushiara River to reach Zakiganj. 4-5 GR had to cross Surma to reach Adgram. And both started initially. It was all quiet. Slowly and slowly they moved in. When they reached close to the objective, that is the time. Pakistanis, that time they thought it is again a Mukti Fauj and Mukti Bahini, so they were not much concerned initially. Till the Gurkhas shouted their war cry, Ayo Gurkhali. That is the time we heard, because our people told us that that is the time when they said, "Arey, ye to Indira Gandhi ki Fauj hai." So that is how the total thing Gurkhas did very well. Uh,
So Argram,
through
I think, sir, two companies went in. First attack, Khufia
Yeah,
Zone.
that is correct. The two companies were forward
Mm-hmm.
and there were two in reserve. So
Reserve.
the whole battalion was involved. Even late Brigadier Harolkar, that time Lieutenant Colonel
He
Harolkar,
was also there in
was
the battle.
also, he was also in the there.
Uh,
And Nine Guards was Lieutenant Colonel Raghuveer Singh,
Rugby Singh.
who was the CO. And sometimes the advance will get held up, sometimes it will be very smooth going.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, through all hours, by early morning, by about 6:15, we were able to capture both the objectives. We did suffer. Captain Johri, Lieutenant Hawa Singh, both from 45GR.
Yeah.
Our own battery commander, Major Chamanlal, he got a bust in the thigh,
Acha.
but couldn't be evacuated in time, so loss of blood, and he made the supreme sacrifice there.
Mm.
Uh, it was a very successful operation. The GOC was very happy in the morning. We saw some guns firing on these people, 45GR and 9 guards. So he asked me, Vishnu, engage them. So I said, I took out my data and all. I said, sir, they are beyond our range. We can't with a mountain gun. So he says, what's the answer? I said, sir, if medium is allotted to us, we can do. There were two guns of, because medium guns were very less.
Mm-hmm.
There were two guns of 24 medium
Mm-hmm.
deployed in that area. So he immediately said, go ahead. So we took the shoot, and Dave, when you are on the side of ethics and values, God helps. It's very rare to get a direct hit on an enemy gun. We got
Okay.
a direct hit on the enemy gun, and thereafter saw total chaos in that gun position. They all ran away from there, taking the guns, everything. And that piece of the barrel of that gun is still lying in our museum in Nasik,
Okay.
Regiment of Artillery.
And this was a
So,
Pakistani RCL, sir.
no, it was Pakistani's guns.
Okay, okay. Artillery gun.
Ah,
Okay.
artillery gun. There were six guns,
Mm-hmm.
and they were deployed in there, and they all ran away from there.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's
this is how
scary. Like, people don't.
really,
Yeah.
because once you get a direct hit, the splinters become
Mm-hmm.
100 times more, and ammunition, which is just lying next to the
Yeah,
gun,
yeah,
that
that
also starts
explodes.
exploding.
Yeah.
So it was these are those sweet memories, I'll say, of the war.
Can you
Uh,
give some more anecdotes of that specific action, sir?
Specific action,
At
I
Artgram.
think at Adgram. At
Mm-hmm.
Adgram, of course, the water was almost knee deep,
Knee deep.
not knee deep, but it was almost up to the waistline.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, धीरे धीरे करते हुए, there was no firing, nothing, because it was supposed to be silently. We have to had to cross.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to cross the. That was there was no problem. But when we were very close to the objective, that is the time when enemy started reacting.
Mm.
They thought they shouted some abuses and all, and they said, get away from here. But when the Gurkhas said, Ayo Gurkhali, thereafter they were scared.
Mm.
Uh, and they started opened up with all fire. We did suffer quite a casualties. Some were evacuated. We had a RMO who was Sengupta, Captain Sengupta,
Mm-hmm.
who also looked after people there, only provided immediate medical aid and all. Some were brought back. But war, of course, it does give you some uh, moments of sadness, but then you have the objective in mind
Right.
and you want to achieve that. So, despite all that, you keep that in mind. Ki I have to move ahead. I have to keep going ahead,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where a very sterling leader in Colonel Harolkar, he had Major Kelkar as his 2IC,
twice, right?
Amar Singh, Gauri, all these people, they continue to march ahead. Um, Despite suffering casualties, captured the place. In Riog stage, they went ahead also, about a kilometer, 2 kilometers ahead. But this was one very major battle before the war, I'll say, because war was this was part of preliminary operation since they were causing a lot of damage to our people and our infrastructure also, railway lines and all, what they were damaging it. So that was to prevent that type of damage that these were launched. Thereafter, around 22nd, 23rd, the decision was taken to withdraw both 4-5 GR as well as 9 guards from that area and hand over this area to one EBR, East Bengal Regiment. These were, as you know, about 6 battalions which were of pure Bengalis in Pakistan Army. They had defected lock, stock, and barrel to India.
Right, right.
So they had come, Major Zia at that time, he was the battalion commander. He was made the battalion commander, and there was one Colonel Ziaur Rahman also, who was made the brigade commander. So
Yeah,
that is how,
Major Ziauddin commanded first EBR when you guys went in, and I think
yes,
Lieutenant Colonel Ziaur Rahman commanded the Z Force Brigade.
yes,
Right,
that's
right.
very correct.
Uh-huh.
So it was handed, this area was taken over by one EBR, and they had no OP officer because artillery had not defected to India from
Right, right, right.
then Pakistan. So I was detailed with them as a OP officer. So I was, if you come to think of it, that time it was a Pakistani battalion.
Right, right.
Bangladesh was not even born. I was an Indian Army officer commanding a Pakistani, not commanding, providing firepower to Pakistani
Yeah.
battalion. So these are those interesting facts. They went ahead about 4-5 kilometers ahead, a place called Satkari Gaon. It was also on along the river Surma. They deployed themselves as a battalion defended area. We took coordinated the firepower, everything was done. And on 26th November, uh, that was the, I think, most determined counterattack that was launched by Pakistan.
Okay.
They launched on their own troops. One EBR was their own battalion.
Right,
The
right.
counterattack was there. Initially, it was reasonably dark, but moon rose by about 2 o'clock or so. Then we see quite a lot. Uh, their company commander, I was with the Charlie company of one EBR, Captain Mehboob. He succumbed to his injuries. He got a bullet in
Right,
his boat.
right.
So once thereafter, I took over that Charlie company. I was directing the artillery fire. When the moon came, it was quite. We were able to engage them well. A lot of artillery firing, and ultimately, because of the artillery fire, that attack was repulsed.
Repulsed.
And next day morning, we saw almost 60-65 bodies lying along the Pakistanis lying along the bed of the Turman River. Now this is another. I am an Indian Army officer commanding a Pakistani Shadi company
Yeah.
and fighting a Pakistani battalion which was attacking them.
Right, right.
So these are those interesting facts.
And this was, I think, sir, launched by 31 Punjab Regiment.
Yeah, 31 Punjab was one which
At
was they were part
Ardgam,
of.
you guys, I think, sir, eliminated B Company. I mean, 4-5 GR.
Yeah, the company was eliminated of 31, and at the Zakiganj also there was another company. There were two companies we eliminated. 9 guards eliminated one, and Gurkhas eliminated the second company. And after 26th, when this attack was repulsed, on 28th or so, I was asked to pull back, go back south, where the complete 59 Brigade has concentrated there under Brigadier Quinn. And on 3rd, when the when Pakistan declared war in India, we went in to Sagarnal, Pulsra. There were two tea gardens. Not much. They must have been the BOPs only of Pakistan. So there was not much serious fight at that place. But thereafter, at Ghazipur was a very
Tough fight.
tough fight. Initially, six Rajputs under Colonel Harveer, Lieutenant Colonel Harveer. He was the youngest CEO of those days, 13 and a half years he was a commanding officer. So he, six Rajput, one attack. Ultimately, they could not make headway, but they caused heavy casualties on the Pakistanis
Right.
enemy. Then on 6th, or you can say, yes, 6th, the Gurkhas were asked to again. It was a daylight attack. They went in because they did not want to give them reaction time.
Right.
So that we succeed. Otherwise, they would have reorged or reinforced, and then again there would have been a. So continuously, Gurkhas were launched. They captured Ghazipur, suffered heavy.
He was killed, I think.
Major Kilkar was killed there, and they had very heavy casualties in Ghazipur. Then they moved ahead, advanced to Kulora. Kulora is a railway station, and Kulora was vacated by these people. This is on 7th. We were at Kulora. That is the time when I had joined 45GR by then. I did not take part in Ghazipur, but at Kulora I was there. I was witness to some very, very interesting incidents of war. Jan Sagat, he is another very dynamic and offensive leader. One you must have heard a lot about him.
Four Core GOC.
Four Core GOC. He decided that we have to speed up our advance and reach Sylhet at the earliest, and ultimate objective was Dhaka for it. So he was not taking any chances that we'll go as per the normal advance along the axis, Kulora, Panchigunj, and then to Sylhet. He decided that we launch a heliborne operation.
Okay.
And the second thing, look at the leadership of that man. He said, for this operational task, it will be my battalion. He was from Gurkhas. So he wanted a Gurkha battalion to go for that, and Gurkhas were only 4-5 who had just gone through a very major operation in Ghazipur.
Two attacks.
And where they had, Gurkhas went on the second one,
Right.
but they had suffered very heavy casualties. And you need some time to reorganize your battalion, reorganize transfer some ammunition. The company which has spent more ammunition, उससे दूसरी कंपनी से ammunition वहाँ देना है, ये करना है. कुछ casualties किसी की ज्यादा हुई है, किसी की कम हुई है, तो inter company transfer and all that normally takes about 2 to 3 days. But since General Sagat had taken decision, he was called Harry Harolkar, then Colonel Harolkar. So he says, Harry, you have to go for this operation. And he wanted it launched on 7th itself, 7 December. We were at Kulora railway station. So naturally, as any CEO will do, Colonel Harolkar said, sir, I need time. I have just gone through a very major operation where we have lost heavily. We need some time for reorganization. Let me reorganize my battalion, and then we can go. He says, nothing doing. This was the desire of the co-commander. But look at the leadership of the co-commander, because he was apprehending all this thing. He landed in Kulora along with his air advisor, then Group Captain Chandan Singh.
Right.
He became Air Marshal later. Both very daring leaders. And he says, Harry, this is my desire and you'll have to obey. Because when it coming from such a senior officer, but Harolkar had no option but to say yes. So he said, okay, sir. And within 2 hours, he asked Group Captain Chandan Singh also, Chandan, can you do this? Can we land a battalion? Because those days we did not have this capability what we have today. We
Right,
had
right.
Me Force, which had just about capacity of 8 people going one time. So battalion in so many, I'll say, sorties was not advisable. But Chandan Singh hardly, he never knew how to say no. He said, yes, sir, it will be done. And he got all his helicopters
Helicopters.
there. And initially, Colonel Narolikar, then Major K.D. Segan, my battery commander, and few other his tactical group. Captain Ravinder Singh bhi the, he was his adjutant. So they all went in, had a recce of that area. Mirpara was the village along the Surma river, very close to the Keen Bridge. That time there was a Keen Bridge which was just about 2.5
That's where it, I
kilometers.
think, marks the entry of Sylhet from the south.
Yes. That's very
Right.
correct. Very correct. And railway station is on the other side of the Sulman, the Sylhet railway station. They did a recce, they found nothing. They thought it is a very good way to do it. Then two companies went initially. Initial sorties, there was no response from the Pakistanis. And it looked that it is totally empty, vacated. There are hardly any troops. And that was told to even us also, that Sylhet is lying vacant. We have to just go there and announce it on their radio station that that everything has been taken over by Indian Army. But when the third sortie started going, the Pakistanis opened up with all their firepower. And thereafter it was difficult, but it was a determined decision. So we had no other choice but to land. We continued. The whole battalion was landed there. In the night, it was decided that the artillery will also go.
Acha, acha.
So the two guns of artillery that's how I got to that. Two guns of artillery, 120 rounds, and complete component of that gun system, the command post and all was decided. So we went to Kumbhigram, got concentrated at Kumbhigram is a airfield near Sylhet.
Right.
So from there we were to be heli lifted. Night when the pilots could not locate the place where they had landed the battalion, they came back, and we all again sitting at the airfield. We were getting bored. Then they said, no, early morning we'll go again.
Acha.
So when there was a little light, we all again took off, landed at Mirpara. We were in 5 choppers. Out of these 5 choppers, by mistake, one of the chopper landed near the Sylhet radio station, which was about 20 kilometers from the actual landing site. That had ammunition also. That had about 32 rounds of ammunition of ours. There was one JCO soldier, Prabhati Lal. I can never forget this when his ingenuity was par excellence. We all landed to IC late Major Nalwa. Later he became Lieutenant General B.S. Nalwa. He had gone with us. He ensured that we were not permitted. The helicopters could not land. They were hovering. We all jumped at about 12 to 15 feet. We put our guns also down. We also jumped, reassembled our guns, all ammunition and all, and deployed ourselves very fast. And to IC had to go back because after that there were no flights. There were no sorties.
Because
That was the last sortie.
night was there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very. After that, there was too much of firing by the Pakistans, so they were not permitting it. But look at the ingenuity of this JCO, which was landed about 20 kilometers from. He got hold of the locals, got 5 this cycle rickshaws, and put this ammunition on the cycle rickshaw. And before it could be anybody could get to know where it is, like he was with us.
Acha.
So these are those stories of courage, valor, thinking, that ingenuity also. He exercised everything.
And locals were
And
very eager to help, as far as I know.
locals were very eager to help us. So they brought all of them. We were with full components, and when we opened up on 8th, this 8th December with artillery, that scared the Pakistanis. There were one full brigade, 202 was there, 313 brigade. There were two brigades. Third later came, I think it was 27 Brigade of Pakistan. They were totally, I'll say, flabbergasted. They thought ki, I don't know what has happened. There is a brigade of Indian Army. And what helped us? What I said earlier, when you are on the side of the Dharma, even the gods and luck also helps you. BBC by mistake announced that evening that a brigade of Indian Army has landed in Sylhet. We were a battalion, but they announced that, and now artillery started firing, so it corroborated, and Pakistanis started thinking that it's a brigade. Now, our commanding officer, Colonel Harkar, was aware of all this, so he also got to know that there is a large strength of Pakistanis. He decided to show a larger strength of India also. He had a very large deployment for a battalion. There were big gaps within the company's platoon and all, but he ensured that we looked like a brigade. And we used to go for a lot of offensive action, patrolling, even some attacks also we launched. Feint attacks mostly, primarily, because if we had gone in for dedicated attacks, we would have been exposed.
Right.
We were to be linked up by the rest of the forces in 48 hours. It didn't happen.
6 Rajput and 9 guards were meant to join.
They were coming along the French-Uganda axis.
Right.
And that is the reason why they, and French-Uganda also, there was opposition. They had fighting at Sylhet railway station also. So link-up actually took place around 14th. So 7 days almost, this battalion along with the artillery component was without. After 48 hours, we were left with only shakarparas, which we used to have 2-3 times in a day. And water, the river was just 100 meters from us, Surma River, but we could not go. They were firing like hell. We were drawing water from a nala, dirty water. We were told not to shave. We were told not to brush. Everything was stopped for next 7 days. And around 14th, we continued to fire. We got to know that they had taken shelter in General Hospital in this place, in Sylhet. The brigade headquarters was moved to General Hospital. We engaged the brigade headquarters. We engaged the ammunition, fuel dump, which was about 2.5, 3 years, and direct hit on the fuel dump. 24 hours that fuel was burning. So these people suffered heavy casualties during that phase. Then I'll say 14th evening they came to us, white flags ke saath, and they said when they came, the company commander met them. They said we do not want to fight. We will withdraw, give us a safe passage to Dhaka. This is their demand. So he immediately, anybody will, the Colonel Harolkar was in direct touch at that point of time, and he said no question. He spoke to Brigadier Cohen also. He said no question. There are only two options, either to die or fight. So they were told in no unclear terms. They were told this, you have to fight here. No passage, nothing will be given to you.
Or you surrender.
Or you surrender. That's all. That's how it is. Which they said, sir, we'll take some time. Give us about 3-4 hours. So that was given to them. They went back. We did not hear anything for about 3.5 hours. We started engaging the general hospital again. Their brigade headquarters. The moment we did that, uh, sure, within next 15 minutes, they were again back with the white flag. And this time they said, sir, we do not want to fight, we'll surrender. Sylhet surrendered one day before,
15th November.
Dhaka, 15th. And though, of course, the surrender ceremony took place along with the Dhaka on 16th. But their acceptance of surrender was before Dhaka.
Now, sir, I had another question. On ground, the senior officer was Lieutenant Colonel Harolikar, right, sir?
Yes.
So the
Yes, he was.
Pakistani surrendered to him.
No, the surrender ceremony took place in the model school,
Acha.
which was a big event. Even Brigadier Quinn had come.
Acha.
He came. That is the time, first time when we were waiting and they were saying, why are you not conducting the surrender ceremony? We said we are waiting for our brigade commander. That is the time when they said, where is your brigade commander? We said he is coming from behind. He said he was not here. That is the time when they got to know that this was not a brigade.
It was just a battalion, right?
Just a battalion. Then Brigadier Quinn landed up. Then, of course, the surrender ceremony took place when only 4-5 GR was there. Brigadier Quinn was also present. And that's how it happened. Yeah. But these are very, very interesting and memorable thing. You don't forget these things. Very, very.
Now, I had another question, sir. Like, you with your guns landed from the Me force. Could you talk a bit about your fire effort for the support of the 4-5 GR?
Yeah. We initially, as I told you, we had only about 120 rounds of ammunition with which we went. We were deployed in a little open space surrounded from all sides by trees and all. And we used to fire from there. The ammunition being just 120, which is very, very less for operation of this nature. But to our advantage, the Air Force came and they started dropping ammunition. I think it was on 9th or 10th, they dropped a lot of ammunition to us.
These are
And
transports or
transport. No. They were aircrafts. They were the aircraft which came, I think it was N-32 if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
So they dropped a lot of ammunition. We collected some ammunition. Of course, we couldn't recover, must have gone into river or something. But most of it we could recover. And that's how we were not short of ammunition thereafter. Initially, definitely had all the time that should we engage this target or not, because we wanted to conserve
ammunition, right?
conserve ammunition. But once the air, it was dropped from the air, then we were pretty happy. We are quite okay thereafter.
Okay. So you, mostly supported this artillery support to the 4-5 GR
Yes.
during these
4-5
field
GR.
attacks.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
We were supporting them till the time this. And once the surrender ceremony that day, so we had everything, because by then the link up had taken place. We had number of vehicles also to ourselves, because till then we were only walking.
Walking, right.
We were roaming around in Sylhet garrison. The Pakistanis were very, very scared of the locals. If it was not for the Indian Army, which took the surrender of, they would have been lynched. Because the locals were so angry with these, because they, you are aware of the Searchlight and all, atrocities that were caused on their near and dear ones, their sisters, their daughters, their mothers, even intellectuals. They were wanting to finish the intellectual loss.
Right.
All those things they had seen. They had seen the graves, they had seen the mutilated bodies, they had seen all these things. So there was जो आक्रोश कहते हैं ना हिंदी में word, आक्रोश था तो they wanted to totally finish them. They definitely And when they surrendered, I want to tell you, uh, they had so much of ammunition, so much of rations and other things that they could fight for another 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. It was so much. But what they lacked was will to fight. They are
Morale.
totally demoralized. So they could not take the hardships. They could not take the accept the killing. Killing means bodies.
What is right?
They could not when you lay down your life in the battlefield. It's a but they were poor soldiers, and I'll just say that some of them definitely must have been good, but by and large, the leadership was extremely poor.
Now, sir, I would come to a bit more of a difficult question. That might be a bit difficult to answer as well, sir. Did you encounter any signs of atrocities when you entered Sylhet or after the liberation of Sylhet, sir? That were done by the Pakistanis on the locals.
Definitely, they were. We did go to some villages. We did meet some families, and to us, they were just dada or bhai or this.
Right, right.
Lekin they could narrate, and when they were narrating, they had ears in there and so much of remorse. And we did meet quite a few of them all along. Some in Sylhet, some in Adgram, Satgari Gaon, which were not very close to the border. But Sylhet, we met quite a few of them.
Okay. What did they talk about, sir? If you could narrate. So,
They basically talked about the way they used to come. They used to demand food. They used to, by use of force, have pleasure with these uh, innocent girls and women.
these were done
They used
both
to,
by Pakistani soldiers and officers, right, sir?
yes, it was all across. I can, as per they used to talk about, ki lakhs of people have been slaughtered. And equal amount of the girls and women were raped. So it was a large scale massacre and also humiliation of a population.
You're right.
And their only uh, fault was that they were Bengalis. They spoke Bengali, Bangla, and that is all. They were not accepted by the Urdu speaking Muslim.
Right.
So, and by and large, the Bengalis in Bangladesh are more or less in day-to-day living, the habits and all are like our Bengalis.
Right.
They love music. They love music. They love reading. They love ये जो अपने good intellectuals जो होते हैं. That is the type of
They are
people they
into
are.
Tagore and
Yes,
literature.
that is
Yeah.
that was the thing. So
That is
it
right.
is. They have gone through a bad phase. There was no doubt about that period. I still am in touch with one or two of them in Bangladesh.
Acha, acha.
Major Bakar is one who continues to send messages, and we
Major
do.
Walker.
I did.
Major Walker Hassan.
Vikar Hassan of one EBR.
One
He is
EBR.
also Bengal Tiger.
I know him. I
And
know him. I know him.
yes, must be.
I know him.
And if I am not wrong, he got some award also.
He got a Veer Pratik, equivalent to a Sena medal.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is how it is. I'm in touch with him. And in 2016, I met him, and I went in 2023 also.
Acha,
I
acha.
again met him.
2023, sir.
Yeah, that time we went with one of the seminar that was there.
It was on which date, sir?
It is towards November or so. I think it was towards this.
Okay. Acha, 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 acha.
You were there?
I was there on the 15th of December 2023 in Dhaka. in the pro.
No, I went for the Victory Day. I went in 2016.
Acha, acha.
2016, I went for the Victory Day at the invitation of then Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
So on Victory Day, regarding the Victory Day program, they I think invite you to a residential place for a party on the 15th, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The first is the parade,
Ha 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 ha.
that Victory Day parade, which is held in the parade ground Naka, and which is also attended by a large population of people there.
Right, right.
And then in the evening is the
Party.
at home. You
yeah,
can
yeah.
say it's at the president's place, where the prime minister is also present.
Okay.
Sheikh Hasina was there, and we felt so elated when Mrs. Hasina, in front of everybody, when she was talking there, to the journalists were also there. There were a lot of people, dignitaries who had come. She was addressing them. She's addressed to us as, she says, ladies and gentlemen, but for these people, we wouldn't have been a nation. This is what she says, and it is still, it filled us with so much of pride for the nation, for the Indian Armed Forces, for our great Bharat. This, she made it publicly, she spoke. And that's the regard that she had in her heart for the great country like ours.
And she was rescued by the Indian Army, to be honest.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have no doubt about it.
Colonel Tara was there, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Kantara was there. Kantara,
I would like to know a bit about the time of your stay in Sylhet to your time being pulled out from that area and back to India.
16th the December, the surrender took place, and within a day or two, we were asked to concentrate at a place within Sylhet.
Acha.
We joined our regiment. 99 Field Regiment had also come. My rest of the regiment had come through Fenchuganj and Sylhet battle they had fought. We all got together around 1920th. We got together. We used to continue to. It was something that we were very inquisitive to know about Sylhet. So we did roam around in the Sylhet city a little, and we used to go to the Div headquarters, the brigade headquarters during that phase. That Div headquarters was not. We used to go and meet our CO also at brigade headquarters, 59 Brigade, and then the decision was taken that we'll be leaving Bangladesh on 31st December. And thereafter we were preparing for our departure back, collecting all the MPs and all doing documentation, because war we don't do much of it, but then we need to have proper documentation and all those things. As per some of the people who have got injured, we cared for them. Of course, we lost one Major Chamanlal, so we got in touch with the lady and all that we
It was
could
from
do.
your regiment. I think it was just during Zakiganj battle.
Zakiganj battle.
Right.
But we had 8 others who got injured, who were in various hospitals. So all that we were taking care of them, getting in touch with them. Basically, morale boosting. Those are
And I
the
think
things
sir,
which.
there is a memorial of Major Chamanlal at Karimganj.
Karimganj, yes.
Right.
There is when I was in Agartala, that was 87, 88. We were in Tripura. That is the time when it was made. And lately, last 4-5 years, these people have done it much better. They invited the lady, Mrs. Chamanlal, had gone 2 years back to that. They had invited her. She had gone, and they gave her a lot of respect, and they treated her with a lot of dignity. So all that she deserves 100%, because he is called the savior of Karim, and that's what they have written on that memorial it by the locals. And even first EBR, they were also very Major Jia. who called us for a. They were also leaving for Dhaka because they were also told to, and they called us for a bada khana. We all had one full 3-4 hours in the evening with them.
Right.
They treated us with a lot of grace and courtesies. They expressed their thanks and all. There is a from Brigadier Ziaur Rahman, who was then Brigadier but actually Lieutenant Colonel. In my regimental history, thank you 99 Mountain Regiment for liberating Sylhet. It's great of the gunners. Jai Hind, Jai Bangla. It's written there, and it is in my regimental history that
Wow.
in his hand. It's on a piece of paper he had written.
Acha, acha,
So it is there.
acha, acha.
So this is Major General Zia. Major Zia, he was also
Major Ziauddin, I
accepted.
think he was promoted only up to Lieutenant Colonel, but
He got involved in some, I think, uncalled for incident in 74, 75 or
right,
something.
right.
So thereafter he did not. But then Brigadier Zia became the president
Yeah,
later.
and Lieutenant
Ah,
General. Yeah.
he left. Yeah. So this is our. We went to 45GR also as myself, Colonel Segan, and we had another Captain Bachar also. We all those courtesies we did, 7-8 days we did, and then 30th we boarded the train and came out of Sylhet, and thereafter Silchar onward we were in on road. We were given vehicles and all our own regimental vehicles were there. Some CSTs, hired transport was there.
Acha,
We
acha.
halted at Shillong.
Mhm.
And that is the day when my 2IC, he was leading that convoy, General Nalwa, that time Major General, Major PS Nalwa, Virender Nalwa. He said, Vishnu, you are too young, your parents must be very worried, so you go on 7 days leave and meet
Acha,
them.
acha, acha.
So he
So
sent me from
Shillong, you
Shillong.
must have gone through Doki, those area, right, sir?
Yeah, we went through Doki
Doki. Acha.
and Shillong se Barapani and then to Guwahati. Those days, so I took a train from Guwahati, did a changeover at Baroni. Those days, meter gauge train tha Guwahati mein.
Acha,
So
acha.
we had to change to broad gauge at Baroni, then
Uh-huh.
came to Kanpur, came home, met my parents. They were all came home to Mathura. At that time, my father was posted in Mathura, and he organized a little get together and a one for me because I had come back alive from the war.
Right, right.
During war, those days, no mobiles, nothing. We used to write once in a week, which also that letter, Fauji letter, वो भी कितने दिनों बाद मिलता होगा तो no communication, so nobody knew.
Yeah.
And no news is good news those days. You are in minutes away from anybody in the
I
world
think,
today.
sir, the unit that you were attached to 45GR, they had more than 150 casual wounded and 30 plus dead. They
Yes,
fought a
yes,
lot.
you are very correct. They and during the war, some of them joined. Like General Cardozo joined at Sylhet.
Right, right. As the
That
2IC.
was, I think, on 9th or 10th of
9th of
December.
December. 9th of December.
9th of
He was doing
December, yes.
staff college, I guess.
Yeah,
Wellington.
he was in staff college. He came from there.
Right, right.
So,
Now, sir,
so
another
that
question. Like, did you get recommended for your Sena medal during the war itself, or after the war?
to be very frank, Dev, I became adjutant of my unit after a few years, and I tried to because the citations and all remain in the adjutant custody. They are confidential documents. I did try to see how was it that where was I recommended. There was nothing about me in those files.
Acha.
So I presume that my recommendations went through the infantry brigade,
Okay.
through the
Infantry brigade. 45
45GR,
Gurkha Rifles.
45 Gurkhas, and I have never checked up with them. But that is my presumption that it may have gone through 45GR.
Acha.
And we had almost after 3 corps awards came, 4 corps awards came much later
Much later.
because they were thickly involved in battle. Uh, they hardly had time to write citations and others.
Yeah.
They must have kept sitraps and all right, but citations were written little later. And the awards also came sometimes in April, May of 72. So,
Okay.
but definitely filled me with a lot of pride and got a letter from Sam Maneksha congratulating me. That letter is still with me.
Acha, acha.
So, those are some sweet memories the field marshal has written. And those days for Senna Medal, they used to be a big, and the chief used to come and big parade at Trivandrum was organized.
Mm-hmm.
That time the brigade commander was Bakshi Joginder Singh, who later became Corps Commander
Corps
3 Corps.
commander, right? I think he was
Huh?
340 Brigade Group Commander. Hilly side.
Yes, 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 yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So,
Right.
he commanded that parade. General Vaidya came to give us the
He was on Western
award.
Front, I think. Yeah.
No, that time he was in the 71 war. He was in the Western
Western
Front.
Front, right, right.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, sir,
Yes.
I would also like to know a bit about, in brief, about your military career, sir. Rest of your military career.
Acha, acha. Okay, after the war, we went back to Along.
Acha, acha.
This is the 5 Brigade location in Arunachal Pradesh.
Mm-hmm.
And those days, Along was also the district headquarter, and also there was a commissioner, also very senior. CRPF का भी काफी वहाँ पे था. A road was towards Kaing and another road towards Inkyong.
Acha,
There were the two road heads beyond Kaing and Inkyong. There were no roads.
acha, acha.
Today there are roads still Tooting and Machuka. That days we used to walk to Tooting and Machuka, and there used to be a long range patrol launched for those, and we had very good time for about uh, 2 years. We stayed in Along. Then our move to Nasirabad came through, and that is the time when I was still for the survey course. I went to School of Arty again, did my survey course, came back, got a good grading. So Nasirabad, Kalm, Ravi Bhushan Bhatia left for Imtrat,
Mm-hmm.
and then Colonel Y.B. Mathur took over our regiment. I spent about 3 years there, then got selected for Long Gunnery Staff Course, went for a 1 year course in Devlali, did that course, came back to the unit. By then the unit had come to Janglot,
Acha.
NG. So we spent about 2 years there. Then we have moved within the same division to Yol camp. Yol camp was part of 39 that time. Abhi to there is a little change. So we came to Yol camp, stayed in Yol camp. That is the time when I prepared for my staff college. Got through in 83, 84 went for my defense service staff college course. There I had very good experience. Met some very good people, outstanding senior officers also. And I was posted to MO Directorate, Military Operation Directorate after the staff college, and joined the MO Directorate in January 85. Those days, staff college course used to start from January to December.
Acha.
Now it is June to May. Those days it was session used to be different. Now they have
Changed.
done it with the education year. Then MO, one of my very dear friend, was also with me. NJC Nair, he's a very, very famous, very humble, but yet very, very courageous and a thinking leader. He is the only officer of the Indian Army who's been awarded a Ashok Chakra and a Kirti Chakra.
Acha, acha.
Kirti Chakra for operation in Mizoram,
Mm-hmm.
where he went as a boatman with a gun in there to get hold of
Militant.
some insurgents those days, and he was able to get them. But when he was at the almost deboarding the boat, one of them saw the pistol in his lungi. He went as a fisherman, so he saw that, and then they shot at him. So he got a burst in the thigh, and just uh, survived because the army took him straight to the command hospital in Kolkata, and that's how he survived. And then, as a CO, he got the Ashok Chakra in '93 when his battalion was being de-inducted from Nagaland,
Acha.
and he was commanded 16 Marathas, and they were just when they were almost reaching Dimapur, they were ambushed. And here was a CO with his boy on his shoulder. He was trying to beat the ambush, and they were able to beat the ambush. But he succumbed to injuries. He gave his ultimate sacrifice at that in that ambush as a CO. So one of those brave officers. We were both together in MO Directorate. General Hoon was our DGMO. General Sumanna was our DGMO, and General Mahajan, they were our DGMO. Then after that, we got. I wanted to go to Delhi. I came for the first time to Delhi that time, and so I didn't like much. After 2 years, I requested I be posted back to my unit. They are moving to field area in Tripura. So I got posted to Tripura, went back to the unit, took part in Opkar. That time Tripura was under insurgency. Opkar 23 days was moved to Tripura. Since I had come from staff college and from MO Directorate, so I was made a G2 ops in that task force headquarters. GOC 23 initially was there, but then I think General Talwar took over. And thereafter, no, it was General Talwar initially, then GOC 23 they came. So thereafter, we were moved to Western sector for, you'll recall, when Sumdrong-Chu happened. 1990.
Okay.
It was for the first time that artillery was deployed in infantry role.
Okay.
So initially we were training for mountain warfare.
And this was the same 99 mountain or some other unit?
Same. I have served only one unit. Same. This is my
Parent
greatest gift of the God that he did not move me out from this great unit of mine.
Second lieutenant to CO all the time.
All the time I have been only one unit, one regiment. And for a gunner officer of those days, it's rare.
It's rare.
Very
I haven't heard of
but
it.
yeah, it's very rare. We were preparing for mountain warfare, mule pack, and all these things when suddenly we were told to deploy an infantry role. We had a company strength, that is our battery strength at Jalas, one at the Mother Ridge BG mein, and one at Peer Badeshwar, Lucknow ke paas. So these were the posts where we were deployed, and right through that was a very, very I'll say operationally it was very, very challenging period. I used to move around all the time because we are not grouped in platoons, sections, and companies. We are OP parties, command post, gun detachment. That is how we were. So to make them into these total regrouping, it was difficult. So I used to move with my Sovadar Major, with my religious teachers. I used to take them so that people get used to it. They do not let the regiment down, because not for anything else, but because of not knowing the task.
Right.
But I am very happy to tell you that the regiment performed exceptionally well. Then after about a year, we were moved to Valley, where we did a little orientation training at Anantnag, Khanabal. Anantnag mein, then one another incident of my life I'll must narrate to you. After the orientation training, we were sent on a exercise as a regimental group. The same area of Beach, Vihada, Pampore, and just across Jhelum. We were, as a regiment, we were told ki area domination exercise thi ho. So we started off, there was a company in front of me, Major Arun Kannaka. We were deployed in a company. His battery was there. Then was my party, and then the rest of the regiment. I just, after about 1.5 hours, I saw a hill feature on the right side. I said, Arun, go and occupy that and then move ahead. So he went in. We became the first leading on the route. There were fields. We were, and then a meter of drop, and then another field. So at the edge, when I came, all of a sudden, I just looked down and I see three terrorists with weapons just below me. And I had no, I just jumped on them. I said, kill. And the moment they saw me jumping, my people complete the CEO's party, Sukhdarshan Singh, Ram Bhaje, they all jumped.
Okay.
These, they were lying there in ambush. These, and when we got hold of them, they had weapons, they could have shot, anything could have happened. But they were also surprised, and we just, hardly any reaction. I jumped on them, and then these people all, so we took off their weapons and all. Then we saw another two chaps running in the fields, good about 400 meters from us. And my regiment, they are 6 and a hill. Without caring, they were running and firing on those two chaps. I said, koi nahi bachega, but josh itna tha कि they just ran, but they faded away in the village. But these three we got, with weapons we got, and an artillery unit on the first day of its deployment. So it became a news in the whole corps that they were lying in. If you just see that if we had crossed that place and they had fired on us, we would have suffered some casualties. At least 8-9 casualties we would have definitely have suffered. Not a casualty, but a success. Between the success and failure, there is the gap. Just to these are the things which at times I feel that there is something beyond. The divine power is there which helps you at times.
Right. Wonderful,
so, and we spent good about this area from Panta Chowk to Anantnag, Beach Vihada, Pampore, Shetshali, Kunmo. That was my area responsibility. We spent good about 8-9 months. By then we had spent almost 5 years in field, and that too in difficult field. So the army headquarters thought that we should now get a little rest. So by that my move came for Devlali. We went back to Devlali. I commanded the unit for 4 years. So you'll be 2 years as a lieutenant colonel and 2 years as a full colonel. And then my long defense management course, I was nominated, which is now called higher defense management course. So we went to Secunderabad, did that 1 year course. That was the first course which was affiliated with Osmania University. We all got MMS degree along with the course. So we got Masters of Management degree, we all got. Thereafter, I was posted as Colonel Administration in 11 Dev at Ahmedabad. Another this is one of the very good a division which is very well laid out. It has brigades in Kutch, one in this place, Gandhinagar, Jamnagar, and one brigade was in Pune. Earlier it used to be Udaipur, that was now in Pune. So we had full 2 years, very rewarding. Some very good generals we had. General Jitendra was my GOC initially, then General Masi, KB Masi, another who commanded 14 Corps later. And thereafter I was selected to come to weapons and equipment, where the integrity check is done by the chief. He approved that posting. Colonel, I was a colonel, but I got, that was my second posting to Delhi. And this time, this was another, we did a lot of modernization. I was looking after modernization of artillery. That period, we inducted the UAVs, the Searchers 1, Searcher 2. We inducted the radars, medium range BFSRs. We inducted the TIIOE. We inducted the LOROS, long range recce and observation system. We also almost got the SP gun at that point of time, but due to something, it could not be. Did the this SATA ANDP 37 also was started, which also culminated. We got the battlefield, this WLR, weapon locating radar. All these things, ammunition system, bimodular charge system, and all came. Very, very satisfying tenure. Thereafter, I got promoted for brigadier, came to Dehradun Strike Corps, part of 2 Corps. I was the CRT for 2 Corps. Stayed in Dehradun for about 8-9 months. Then this parliament attack happened, and Parakram was launched, so we were all moved to deserts in Arjansar, Suratgarh, Bikaner. That was our area. Another 1 year, not 1 year, almost 8-9 months, I was asked to go, and the 41 RT was under raising that time. The one is which is in Pune now. So that was I was asked to go there as Deputy GOC. Jambu Sarwala was raising that division. But within 3 months, I got nominated for National Defence College course, NDC. I did only about 3 months, but I'm very we did the operationalization of the division, and very, very satisfying tenure. Then did my NDC. Another very, very, I think, professionally extremely satisfying tenure. I met some very good officers from the world, USA, UK. We had people from Australia. We had a lot of people from African countries, and Philippines, Afghanistan, and also all arms from the Indian Army. That 1 year thereafter, I was posted to Nagrota as Brigadier. Then the largest corps of the in the world, 1.83 was our strength corps that time, 1.83 lakh, and it had a role in Punch, Rajouri, and this side towards the plains, JNK, right till what Gurdaspur areas. And we had Pir Panjal in the rear. Very, very vast area, very challenging, yet extremely satisfying. We had some wonderful, I had a Corps Commander, General Ashok Kapoor, who had total faith, who delegated things, believed in the subordinates taking the right decision. So, learnt a lot. Then my promotion came. So I just had 1 year as a brigadier. I came as ADG Ops and Training to Army Headquarters at Delhi. This phase was also, SATA reorganization took place. The UAVs had by then stabilized, artillery was doing. ACCCS was launched in a big way. We did the Sultam upgradation, 130 into 155. And also, this was the phase when artillery really took off. That today, though, I can boast of one of the finest artillery in the world that India has. And thereafter, went to School of RT as a deputy commandant for a year. Came back on promotion as Director General Manpower Planning and Personal Services, where I'll give you 3 things that one can take little pride. One was the Ajay Vikram Singh committee, which we executed, and today what you see, younger, lot of COs, is because of that. Younger brigade commanders is also because of that. And even majors and lieutenants, there is at least 2 to 2.5 years
Acha.
Every month there used to be a pay parade, and we were convinced that in this age of technology and digitalization, we cannot. Initially, we started off, took permission of the chief. He was very, Jan Deepak Kapoor was the chief that time. No, by then Jan VK had taken over.
Acha.
Jan VK had taken over, so he was most positive. He said, "Go ahead, Vishnu." So we started off. We collaborated with the State Bank of India. They were also willing. 1.5 years of trial. We did trial in one of the in 25 days, one of the battalions, Rajiv Center in Delhi and BG Center in Pune. Went through the trial. When everything was okay, then we started sending the money through the banking system. First month we sent 1 rupee when the complete clarification because everybody confirmed that it has reached the same correct account. We sent the next month onwards. And I am so happy to tell you that 13.5 lakhs of army, 52 record officers, every one was on the new salary system before I retired in May 2011. And they all, not one case of incorrect crediting. So that was another. And last, I'll say the military service pay. It was the due of the. I handled the 6th CPC, Central Pay Commission. So that is the time when the military survey pay came into being. And my predecessor, General Rao, also had worked on it. And I also, the final came when I was there. We had to fight it out. It was there in the 70s. We used to get special disturbance allowance. It was stopped. Initially, the armed forces never bothered about pay and allowances, and that's why we suffered a lot in between. But now we were quite aware. We were intelligent enough to know what should be done. We were aware what is happening all around us, and we definitely deserved it. And therefore, we it was initially our Mr. Anthony gave okay. Then the group of ministers headed by Pranab Mukherjee ji, Dada, I gave presentations to him, and ultimately they all gave their accent, and they were willing to give it to us. And today, I think it has made a difference in both in salary as well as the pension of the armed forces persons. So this is how is I retired in 31st May 2011 as the Director General Manpower Planning and Personal Services. And the Army was very, very gracious to honor me with Param Vishesh Seva Medal in 2011, 2007 with Ati Vishesh Seva Medal. So that is, I feel that it's been a journey of tremendous satisfaction and great dignity and grace. I made some wonderful friends. I have met some wonderful people, and it has also ensured that I have seen the whole of India. That is another, each and every part, met the people. It's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful army. And I can only say that the people, the manpower, the human being of Bharat are the best, and our soldiers are the best in the world. It is such a pleasure to narrate this to me. You have made me go through my whole life today, which one rarely does. Thanks a lot, Dave. So I have
Thank you
conveyed
so
this.
much for giving such an insight of these things that happen in the armed forces. Like, we were not aware of it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Thank
Wonderful
you so much.
interacting with you, sir. And like, especially the fighting at Sylhet, and before that,
Ah, that of
it's
course was the best part of life. And at
right.
that young age, we got that experience to be in battle. Rarely one gets it.
Really,
It's
yeah,
it's a very
right. Wonderful, sir. And thank you for all the services that you have provided for this nation and for the liberation of Bangladesh.
thank you, Dev. It's such a pleasure to be interacting with you today. You made me go through my whole life. That's the greatest thing. I remembered a lot of things
A
which,
lot of things, especially, I
yes,
mean, even like the incident with the militants and at Kashmir. Yeah,
yes.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your talk.